Howdy. I wanted to do a quick little discussion lecture, if you will, on the nature of productivity in our economy now in this 21st century. Uh, One of the things that's actually driving, and this is something I write about a lot, the wealth disparity and income disparity in our current society, is that our productivity and our efficiency for creating certain products has gone off the scale. At least any traditional scale we used to have. There's currently going through Congress a piece of legislation called Stop Online Piracy Act, SOPA. It actually deals with the essence of this that I'm going to talk about real quick. And it's actually this where I get to segue into some physics and Einstein. One of the things that he talked about mathematically was the nature of energy and matter, and that they're essentially can be converted back and forth through this really large number. Right? The energy matter times the speed of light squared, which is a large number and faster than anything can be. It's a twist on itself to make matter. So one of the things, the level of efficiency and productivity gain that we see now in the modern world is one where we have actual products that are sold and created on this level of efficiency, this energy level, not the matter level. A lot of digital products, I actually spent a lot of money on digital products. I'm pointing over here at my Steam and my Skyrim and all my other games. But essentially these products are energy. I mean, at their core, they're really, they're technically, I guess at this point, kind of flipped magnetic images on my hard drive. Which will probably change soon with the way hard drives are configured. So physically, they actually are energy, this program. So the efficiency after you create the first one, right? And so when you talk about some of the in economic terms or manufacturing, you have continuing costs, right? Can't think of the term off the top of my head, the correct one. But essentially, say you build a car, right? And then you build another car, and another car, and another car. While you gain a certain amount of efficiency in the production of those cars, the physical elements of the car actually, you have to have the rubber and the steel. And, you have to put all this stuff together each time you make it. Each copy represents a certain physical mass. Now, when you have energy products, right, like these digital products, that cost to recreate a copy is reduced by that speed of light squared factor. Remember, you're talking about energy and matter, right? You have the car, physical matter, or say a computer game or a movie or a song that's represented digitally, that's energy. So that conversion factor is huge. Speed of light squared, it's a big number. So what the energy, which is to say the mass, right, that it takes to make one more car, you can essentially make one more game or one more song for everybody on the planet, right? Same cost. It's that big a factor. It's well past the billions to one. We saw this happen, or tried to deal with it a little bit back with Napster at the end of the last century. That got crushed quickly, but we really essentially live in an environment where a lot of these music, movie, whatnot, distribution companies, right, recording companies, they're not really needed. I mean, they're superfluous to the nature of the market. But this is actually the regulation. I don't think this is what Republicans are talking about with government regulations, but that's exactly what copyright is. And enforcing it is a government service that they provide for everyone, every person. Now, what's going on with the Stop Online Piracy Act is they want to enforce this level of what I call basically false scarcity, right? So you don't let certain things be copied, or if one thing gets copied. Somebody pointed out, like, if somebody posts a bad song on Facebook somewhere, the Stop Online Piracy Act is so poorly written and so much written by these media companies that you could shut down Facebook just because somebody somewhere uploaded a song. I run a website. I have people post crap all the time. Somebody posts a link to a website that does something bad that's facilitating. So this Stop Online Piracy Act is horrible. And what it tries to enforce is this evolving situation we have where more and more products and possibilities are represented digitally. In the next, I don't know, 5 years or so, you're going to start to see, home model 3D printers where you just get a design and you print up your glasses, your cups, every little household object you've got. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff these things can make. Even, what are now $5,000 and $10,000 printers, in 10 years will be $500 and $1,000 printers, 3D printers. So everything in your house. So this is kind of the future we're moving towards, where the cost on that side is really going to be just straight material. But for so many of the other things, the cost is essentially a question of the licensing or the restrictions, the level of restriction and protection that it has as a direct influence on the price, because it's going to create a false scarcity. Essentially, all these digital products are naturally infinite. So if you look at traditional structures of price points, you have a supply and demand, but in this case, the supply is infinite. So really, kind of regardless of demand, unless demand is infinite, which is a curious base to explore, but if supply is infinite, which it can be with any digital product and a digital factory, which is what every single home computer is, and every computer built from here on out will be, supply being infinite, demand, regardless of that price, would be zero, because that's just the way math works with infinite numbers for the most part. So that's kind of the situation we actually live in, but aren't allowed to enjoy the freedom of because of these government regulations being enforced. And now they're pushing for a very much stronger version of this, which I haven't really been too much on the fight. There's a bunch of younger geeks who are taking it up. But this stuff is not good. The Stop Online, it's SOPA. I don't want to make it partisan, so I'm not going to tell you who's on what side, but take a wild guess. Take a look at it, but really it's this kind of poorly written stuff. This is kind of one of those turning control for policing the internet over to Hollywood, essentially, which is something I'm totally against. I think it should be ours. Us, the peeps. So that's long enough on this rant. I just want to talk about that. Sorry, if there's any questions about this, let me know. I do answer questions. Normally I'm not a jerk about it, but whatever. Peace.